Hi, this is Cindy Kozansky from the Heart Centered Therapist podcast. I joined the Download Growth Club because I was feeling flat. My podcast was not moving forward. I felt frustrated. And after listening to so many of Adam's episodes, I just knew that to take it to the next level, I needed the type of support that he offered. What I love the most about the Download Growth Club are the coaching sessions with Adam and the community. It has been amazing. I've rebranded my podcast and am just moving forward with so much gratitude to Adam. You won't regret joining the Download Growth Club.
What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School. It's the show where I teach podcasters how to love their podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. If you are a service provider, a coach, or a consultant, and you're looking to learn how to leverage your podcast to build your online business and get more clients, you're in the right spot, Pod Pals. Today, we're talking about my updated Q4 2024 social media strategy for podcast promotion. I made some changes, Pod Pals, shifting things up. I'm tired of certain platforms, certain things just being a slow, painful grind. And I'm doing some experiments. I've been experimenting. Some things have worked, some things have not so great. And I'm going to kind of report in on that, what I'm changing, and the social media strategy that I'm kind of going to stick to here for the fourth quarter of 2024. We're going to see how it works. You can follow along. Real quick before we get started, I got a free workshop coming up here 1 week from today on this episode release date. Appreciate all the pod pals out there listening in on the release date on Tuesdays. Let's see. So that'll be October 29th. I'm doing a podcast growth free workshop. I'll put the link in the episode notes. I'll stick it in the freebie zone on my website, podcastingbusiness.school. You can click on the freebie button, and the workshop will be on there somewhere too. But easiest place will be in the episode notes here. If you're doing less than 1,000 downloads per episode, I'm gonna give you a recipe for free to get there. So show up. There will be a replay, but you got to be on the sign up list to get access to the replay. So yeah, grab that if you want to grow your show. I'm loving the free workshop thing. That is another part of my Q4 strategy is one free workshop every single month. Last month in September, we did one about lead magnets, and it was very well received. This month, October, we're looking at that podcast growth. So yeah, check it out and come and say hello. All right, let's talk social media. Raise your hand if you hate social media. I'm raising my hand. So I had to make some changes because first of all, like I've been cranking away at Instagram, and it's just the last year, at least 2024 has been just a slow, painful grind. I don't like being on that platform as much anymore. The engagement is just really slow for me. And so I was looking to make some changes. And it was interesting. I put up a post on Threads, spoiler alert, my new favorite platform. Put up a post on Threads with a poll last week. And I said, what comes first? And here are the two options. You enjoy being on a social media platform. That was option one, or growth on a social media platform. So basically, I was like, do you enjoy a platform because you're seeing growth, or do you grow because you're enjoying being on the platform? And I think it was like 95% of people that voted said that what comes first is enjoying being on the platform. So it makes sense to me that I'm like, man, Instagram, I don't like being on there. I scroll through some stories. I don't really search through people's grid posts at all. I'm not watching reels, just ads and ads and ads. And I just don't like being on that platform. So of course my growth has really stalled there, and engagement has really stalled because I'm kind of just doing content like, okay, I posted something. Let's get off this damn thing. But on Threads, which is again, spoiler alert, my new focus platform. This is my new favorite and my new focus platform where I'm going to kind of peel everything out of Threads first content. I love being on there. It's so easy. It's just text only. You shouldn't post video. You shouldn't post images. It's just text. And I've got lots of thoughts that I can randomly just post on Threads, and Some of them cook and I get a ton of engagement. Some of them don't, but it's like 50-50. Where on Instagram, it's like, wow, one person liked it and commented, amazing. Where I'll post on Threads and have a whole bunch of shares and dozens of comments and all these likes. And it's become my new go-to space because I actually enjoy being on there. So that's one of the things that's new and different with my Q4 strategy is I'm focusing on Threads first. I've got a strategy where I'm posting 2 to 3 times every single day, especially during the week. On the weekends, I still kind of just post if I feel like it. I give myself some slack there, but it's so easy. I don't have to spend an hour creating an Instagram reel with B-roll and like words popping up on the screen, and half the time it gets screwed up on my phone, and half the time the music is too loud and you can't hear what I'm saying or whatever. So just posting a text-based tip for podcasters. There's only one. You can only hashtag one thing. So I'll use one hashtag and it's super simple and I'm getting engagement. But also, in addition to my 2, 3 posts per day, I'm spending 10 to 20 minutes a day replying to other people's posts. And that's really where the growth and engagement that I'm seeing on Threads is coming from is I will just search hashtag podcast threads or podcasting or podcasters or online business or whatever I kind of want to chime into as far as conversations. I search that hashtag and I dive into conversations, and I'm unafraid to drop episode links. If somebody's like, I got to name my show, I'm getting ready to launch my show, I need to come up with a good name. Any ideas? I'm like, yes. Here's my perfect podcast name formula. Here's a link to an episode where I break it all down. And they're always like, thank you. This is great. I'm going to listen to it. Boom, new listener. All it took was effort. Didn't have to pay for that listener. So that's the strategy that I'm using on Threads, and I'm growing pretty rapidly on there. And I really think that my Threads account will surpass my Instagram account by the end of the year. But I am also seeing people bounce from Threads into following me on Instagram as well, because Threads still doesn't have a DM option. I'm hoping that's coming. But so they have to come over and connect with me on Instagram to send me a message if they have questions or something like that. So that is one of the things that's going to be new and different is a Threads first social media focus. And I'm going to break down my posting schedule and everything here in a second. So don't you worry, pod pals. Okay. The next thing I'm really shifting is I'm not doing any video clips for my podcast. So like right now I'm recording this video and audio, but I'm not going to break up the video clips and post them anywhere because they don't do good. Like for whatever reason. And maybe it's me. I don't like to splice it in with B-roll as I'm talking. I just don't have time for that because I'm like, I spend all that time doing that and I get 4 likes. Not worth it. Not worth the effort. I'd rather spend that. If I spend that hour on Threads, I'm probably gonna get 25 new followers, and I'm gonna get comments. I'm gonna get engagement. I might get some clients out of it. So an hour splicing in B-roll with Instagram Reels and TikTok videos versus an hour on Threads, it like doesn't even compare right now as far as the value of my time spent. So I'm not doing any clips from the podcast episode specifically. What I am doing that's working on 2 specific platforms that I've been experimenting with is I made a big Evernote file with 50 online business and podcasting tips, 60-second tips. And I made a big list. And I just go in and I film face to camera for 60 seconds at a time. And I usually batch these at 5 to 10 at a time. And so these don't promote a specific episode. It's more expert positioning and brand awareness, where I do a 60-second tip on anything from podcast launch to growth to email list building to, creating offers, things like that. I'll drop a 60-second clip. Then at the end of every single video, it's like, if you want more online business tips for podcasters, check out my show, Podcasting Business School, wherever you enjoy your podcast audio. I say that at the end of every single video. All right. These I'm posting everywhere, but they're doing especially well. They're getting traction on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And YouTube Shorts, I had to kind of figure out where to post those, but now that I've got it figured out, it's super easy. You just get the YouTube app, you got a vertical facing video, and you can post that on YouTube Shorts super easily. And YouTube Shorts is hit and miss. Some YouTube Shorts I put up there, it's like 15 views. Others, 4, 5, 6, 700 views. And I have no idea why it's one way or the other. I cannot, I can't find a pattern. I try my hat forward, my hat backwards, different colors with the hook text, different hashtags, different topics, and it seems almost completely random times of day. Um, I haven't really locked in on a formula that works to get the maximum views, but every once in a while it does hit. Now on TikTok, I'm consistently getting 600 plus, usually 700, 800 views on every single one of those videos. So that's nice. That's way more. Like I'll post it also on Instagram just because I've got it. And, it'll do a couple, maybe 100, 150 views, which isn't great. But with TikTok and YouTube Shorts, those are working pretty well. And it's just brand awareness, driving people to my show. Come on in. All right. So that is working pretty good. That's something that's new that I'm folding into my social media routine for the fourth quarter of this year. Now, another thing that I'm folding into the routine is LinkedIn newsletters, and I'm actually doing them twice per week now. So on Thursdays, when I write my normal podcasting business school newsletter, um, I will copy that and paste it and create a LinkedIn newsletter as well. And LinkedIn, y'all, I'm trying so hard with LinkedIn. Like I'm trying so hard to like LinkedIn, and I just throw up in my mouth every time I log on. Everybody's like, "You got to be there." So many podcasters, on LinkedIn. And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. I don't know how to find them. They're not finding me, and I just do not like being on the platform." It feel like that scene from Ferris Bueller where is it Ben Stein that's the teacher, and he's like Bueller, Bueller. He's like this really boring, dry teacher. I feel like LinkedIn is a very boring, dry teacher, and I'm like, I don't get any excitement out of this. I'm not getting any engagement. I can't find my people. You know, I'm all about just connecting and having conversations and interacting and adding value. If it's a slog for me to figure out how to do that on a platform, I am out of there. Like it's not going to happen. Um, so the LinkedIn newsletters though are getting some traction, and I'm building a little email list or a newsletter subscriber list, I guess I should say. It's not huge; it's like 150, 152 or something like that. And so people are checking out the newsletter. So on Thursday, I just copy and paste my normal newsletter. Boom. But I just started doing something else that's working decently well, getting some comments, some engagement. Um, on Tuesday, when I drop my new episode release, one of my other new things that I'm going to discuss, I'm leveraging Capshow. I freaking love this AI platform. This is the only AI anything that I've ever used. So maybe it's just like newcomer bias, but I freaking love Capshow. Capshow, CAPSHO.com. I'm going to have the owner Deirdre on the show. We're collaborating a ton. I'm going to do uh, a monthly episode on her YouTube channel, on the Capshow YouTube channel. Ton of collaboration between us and Capshow coming up. But I really love it. But one of the options with Capshow is I can toss my podcast audio into Capshow and it kicks out a LinkedIn newsletter. So I'm releasing that every single Tuesday as a LinkedIn newsletter. And I only post that on LinkedIn. And it's pretty cool getting some engagement on it. And again, it's building that newsletter subscriber list on LinkedIn. Now, uh, real quick on Capshow, I'm also using that. They have just really structured post ideas. So I put audio into Capshow. I don't even load video, but they do have like video editing and video clips and things like that. But I'll get quotes, I'll get checklists. You could build a lead magnet out of it. When I go through my social media posting schedule, I'll give you a few examples. But I'm using it a ton for threads actually, because they'll have like, here are 3 tips to whatever, and they'll make suggestions like this is good for LinkedIn, this is Instagram type post, this is a Facebook post. Here are quotes. This is a newsletter. Here are your show notes for this episode. And it's funny, inside my Download Growth Club membership, I had people asking me, they're like, that last social media post with all that copy, did you write that or was that Cap Show? Because it sounded, the way it read, it sounded like you wrote it. I'm like, no, that was Cap Show. That was really, really good. So anyway, before I forget, if you guys want to try Cap Show, I just set up an affiliate code. It's Adam. So Cap Show, CAPSHO.com. Use the code Adam. If you use the code Adam, ADAM, my name, you'll get 20% off your first 3 months of Cap Show. So go check that out. I'll put that in the episode notes as well. Okay, I want to go through my dashboard and just show you what my 72-hour window looks like now, because that's a rule that I talk about on the show quite often is, all right, a new episode goes live. What does our next 72 hours of promotion look like? And we focus on 72 hours versus, so 3 days versus a 7-day promotion window, because inside of Apple and Spotify, they consider content to be new for 72 hours. So it's kind of like social media where you post on TikTok and if people start commenting and liking and driving engagement right away, then the algorithm picks up on that and shares with more people. A podcast episode is the same. So if people are consuming the episode within the first 72 hours, that is great for the algorithm, and we get an algorithmic boost as the podcast show. So I prefer to spend all my effort promoting my episodes within the first 72 hours instead of for 7 days, because those after 3 days, it seems like the algorithm boost really kind of peters out a little bit. So let's go through my 72-hour window strategy. So I post my new episode of Podcasting Business School goes live on Tuesday. So we're going to focus on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday here. And I can still post whatever I want on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but I don't have a set posting schedule. I had somebody ask me that, like, what are you doing on the other days? I'm like, well, I can post whatever the hell I feel like, to be honest. I have a 3-day work week. Sometimes I work on Fridays, but so especially with Threads, that's a stream of consciousness social media platform. So I'll just post a question, I'll post a poll, I'll engage with people. If I get an idea, I'll test it. I'll put that idea out there. Hey, you guys interested in this as a topic, and just have conversations. That's why I love the ease of that platform. I'll be sitting in the school pickup line to pick up my daughter. Shout out to Hannah, 4th grader. So I'm in the pickup line, and I'll just get on Threads, join some conversations, start a few conversations, and it's super easy. I don't have to sit there and edit video or anything. So again, really enjoying that platform. All right. So Tuesday, new episode goes live. The first thing I'll do is I'll look at what CapShow gives me as far as conversation starter type questions. And I will take that text and I'll put it in and create a thread out of it. And just kind of, and I'll promote the episode. Hey, if you like this, and you'll love episode whatever, Podcasting Business School. I typically don't link on that post. If I do, I'll post a second comment underneath my main post and put the link there. But it seems like linking on a post doesn't always do well algorithmically, in my experience. So I'll just shout out the episode. Hey, go listen to episode whatever, Podcasting Business School. All right. Then I'll create my LinkedIn newsletter from what CapShow gives me. So boom, that's done. On TikTok and on YouTube, I will post one of my 60-second face-to-camera videos that has nothing to do with the episode, but it's just brand awareness, because that works well on those platforms. On Facebook, I'll usually post an image, and then I'll use one of the Facebook suggested texts from what CapShow gives me. So it's like, hey, this is a great post that'll work on Facebook. Boom, I'll grab that text, post it, and with an image or maybe a carousel potentially. And so then I'll do something similar, usually on Instagram on Tuesday. And it kind of depends. It's kind of whatever I feel like at this point, but I'll either do a carousel similar to what I do on Facebook, or sometimes I'll just share that thread. You can share your thread directly onto Instagram, and that seems to be working just as good, or even a little bit better than anything else I've been doing. So I'm experimenting with that a little bit. And then in my Instagram story, this strategy this has worked for me for a couple of years now. I do an Instagram story that has a plain black background, and I'll have the title of the episode. I'll highlight an important word or words in the title of the episode in hot pink, and I will link directly to the episode. And that'll be the only Instagram story that runs for 24 hours. And I don't post an Instagram story on Monday. So it's kind of like a fresh Instagram story feed. I tend to get a lot of eyeballs on that. So that is my Tuesday. On Wednesday, let's work in reverse order here. On Instagram, I've been booking some Instagram lives for Wednesdays, and that's my preference. And I will make that my Instagram content of the day, and I will shout out the episode and promote it. If I don't have an Instagram live stream scheduled, I've been trying to do those with other guests and like my certified podcast growth coaches or people that I'm connected with that are podcasters on and have a good Instagram following. So if I don't have a live stream scheduled, I'll post a 60-second face to camera brand awareness tip. And I will also do that on Facebook as a Facebook reel, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So that's all that's going on Wednesday. And then on Instagram story, CapShow has this 4-post strategy, and I'll use one of those and try to create a poll or some like a yes no engagement based question in my Instagram story to see if I can get some engagement going there. All right. Then on Threads, I'll usually, again, I'm posting 2 or 3 times a day on Threads. So one of those posts will probably be related to that 60-second video tip that I posted everywhere else. And sometimes that's related to the episode of the week. Sometimes it's not. But again, I'll usually post, at least once every single day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Threads with a related topic to the episode of the week. And I'll kind of toss it back. If you like this, you'll love episode, whatever, Podcasting Business School, go get it. All right. Thursday, I'm posting those 60-second tip videos on Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Boom. And then LinkedIn, I will do my copy and paste newsletter for my Podcasting Business School newsletter. In my Instagram stories on Thursdays, I'm either posting a client testimonial or I'll promote something. So, this Thursday, I'll probably promote the upcoming podcast growth workshop and have a link to that. So I kind of remind myself to promote in the stories a little bit more often, especially if it's something free like the workshop. But again, I might post a testimonial for somebody from the Download Growth Club, and then I'll post a link to the 14-day trial for the Download Growth Club. Makes sense, right? So that works pretty well. And I think more of us just need that reminder to either sell something or promote something or show off testimonials across social media. Now, one of the coolest things about CapShow, and again, CapShow isn't sponsoring this. Deirdre didn't like pay me to mention her, but this is a tool that I'm using in the fourth quarter in a big way, and I'm really getting good results out of it. You guys know I do not get overly promoty about affiliate links or anything like that. So I'm mentioning this because I'm using it so much. I'm getting a lot of value out of it, and whether you guys want to try it or not, that's up to you. But one of the coolest features that I like about CapShow is they have they call it a lead magnet generator, but it's a checklist. And I don't use it as a lead magnet. I use it as what's called a super thread. So a super thread is when you have like a checklist or a list of like 5 to 10 tips, and you post one thread that's kind of the introduction, and then you comment underneath with each tip. So that would be like 10 comments for 10 tips or 10 checklist check boxes. And it creates this what's called a super thread. And these if they hit, they go big, and you'll get a lot of engagement, a lot of questions. You'll get a ton of shares usually, and you can come back and reuse these as well. I'm learning more about this on Threads as we speak. I'm trying to have a few Threads expert people on the show as guests to teach us all about it. So I'm working on that. I'm definitely not that. So I'm just doing experiments right now. But I really like using that CapShow checklist feature for a super thread on Thursday to kind of create a big uh, awareness on that final day that I promote my episode of the week. All right. So that is what my schedule looks like. And for those of you that are wondering, I get a lot of emails about how I organize this, like where is this housed? So I created a tool for my online business academy for podcasters. It's called Online Business Academy Dashboard. It's a Google sheet, and I've got different tables on there. I've got a bunch of tabs, and one of the tabs is my social media calendar. And every day I just go through this and I use it as my checklist. So I'm recording this on a Tuesday. I went through all the Tuesday steps in probably 25 minutes, where normally it would take me longer than that just to create an Instagram reel. And I've posted everywhere. I got my threads going. I've commented on other people's threads. All this has happened. All the 60-second tip videos, all that is done this morning in 25 minutes. So it's already out there doing its thing, hopefully. Crickets on Instagram, probably. If you guys follow me on Instagram, just comment on something today. Just I'll know. Maybe like comment and use like a sunglasses emoji or something like that. So I know, oh, you listened to this episode and you gave me a mercy comment, like you were just being a good pod pal. That'll be our inside joke, and I'll know exactly who you are and why you did that. So anyway, 3 days hardcore, and the other 4 days I mainly focus on threads. And if people do comment, I'll be on top of that and kind of commenting back on the other platforms as I'm stirring up energy on the 72-hour window. Okay, so that is the Q4 game plan. Let me reference my notes here. Got everything that I wanted to comment there. All right. So let me end on this. I've been talking a lot about threads. I've been talking a lot about Capshow. I kind of hate it on LinkedIn a little bit, hate it on Instagram. Here's the thing. Your social media platform of choice and your experience on there is going to vary big time. So don't be like, Adam says, get rid of Instagram. LinkedIn is stupid. Focus on threads. That's what's working for me. I know people that are killing it on LinkedIn. And that's kind of what has me frustrated. I'm like, they're doing it. I can't figure it out. Why can't I figure it out? But for whatever reason, honestly, I really think it goes back to that initial poll that I posted last week. You know, the enjoyment of a platform, I believe, now has a direct correlation with your growth on that platform. And like I said, I throw up in my mouth a little bit every time I go on LinkedIn. I'm about ready to fall asleep. I'm bored. All right. I don't like being on that platform. Instagram is becoming that way for me. Threads is not. Threads is the new hotness. Threads is that, I'm kind of breaking up with Instagram. I'm starting to date Threads a little bit. Threads is rolling in hot. And I like spending time with Threads. All right. So that's a social media platform that is infusing me with energy. And I think that comes out in when I post on there as well. It's the same thing as like when I write my newsletter. Some people hate writing and they hate writing newsletters, and their list sucks and their open rate sucks and their engagement sucks. It's because they hate writing it. I love writing my newsletter. I look forward to it. I get excited by it. Like, it's fun. It is recess time for me. And there's a direct correlation. That's why I have a 70% open rate. That's why my list is growing by leaps and bounds every single month. That's why people click through. That's why people hardly ever unsubscribe. I just feel like I'm delivering my experience and going, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to experiment with some stuff. If you're feeling stuck, and maybe you've been focusing on Facebook, you're like, wow, it's similar, to where I'm feeling with Instagram. Just try a different platform. It doesn't have to be Threads, but let's do some experiments. Let's try something different. Don't feel like you just have to grind out what you've always been doing, because that has worked in the past. But if it stopped working, we need to tweak. We need to be nimble. We need to be light on our feet and adjust a little bit. We need to pivot a little bit. And let's try some new stuff. That's the real moral of the story here. You do not need to do exactly what I'm doing, because chances are it won't work in the exact same way for you as it will for me, depending on your brand, your niche, your experience, how you like to deliver content. So just, I just want to put that warning out there. Like, I don't, I know that I'm considered an influencer in the podcasting space, the online business space, but don't let me over influence you. You need to just, I want to influence you to just sit back and think about what's happening with you on social media. Where do you feel like you're wasting time? Where do you see opportunities? Where do you feel like you may have some interest? You may want to experiment a little bit and see what happens. And the last thing I'll say is if you do decide to do an experiment, do the freaking experiment. Don't go, oh, I posted on LinkedIn once, or I posted one YouTube short and got 4 views. I'm out. Give it, maybe October, maybe mid-October to mid-November, maybe now through Thanksgiving, you go, I'm going to post 4 days a week on YouTube shorts and let's see what happens. That's what I did. My buddy Scott Carson challenged me. He goes, I want you to do a face-to-camera video and post every single day for 30 days on YouTube shorts, LinkedIn, and TikTok. I said, all right, challenge accepted. I'm going to do it. I did it. I posted every single day for the month of August, every single day. That's when I sat back, okay, LinkedIn, not a whole lot of results there, but I might as well just share it there because it's easy because I've already got it other places. Instagram, crickets, but YouTube and TikTok, I'm like, worthwhile numbers, especially on TikTok. Okay, cool. This is something. So I added that into the fold. That was an experiment, but if I had just tried that 4 times, I probably wouldn't have valid numbers to go, okay, this is worth it or not. But since I did that for 30 days, I really got to see some real data and go, okay, this worked, this didn't. Let's take what worked, pluck that ripe fruit off the tree and put that in a recipe. All right. So just take a step back, think about what is working, what is not working, what experiments are we going to try, and then do like a 30-day experiment like I did where you really put some effort behind it. Maybe post on Threads every single day for 30 days or follow me on Threads, look at what I'm doing and kind of follow suit. Yeah, experiment, y'all. I appreciate you all. Don't forget, we got next week, 1 week from today, the podcast growth free workshop. If you're doing less than 1,000 downloads per episode, get in that workshop. The link will be in the show notes. It'll be in the freebie button on podcastingbusiness.school. Would love to see you there. I love to interact with you all. That's what drives me on a social media platform. If I get to interact with you all, I'm happy. If I get engagement, I get questions. It's not like I post something and I feel important because I got 400 likes or something like that. I actually want to engage. I'd much rather see you posted something, comment on it, be able to help you out and have some back and forth coaching. I love that. Okay. That's where I want to be. So show up to this workshop and that's what we can do live on Zoom. All right, Pod Pals, I appreciate you. I'm going to send you out of the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you in the next episode.
If you need a little bit of help with your podcast launch, growth, or monetization strategy, head on over to my website, www.podcastingbusiness.school, and get signed up for a free podcast profit potential discovery call. During this free 20-minute discovery call session, I'm going to analyze your podcasting brand and tell you where I think you're missing on an opportunity for profits. Next, I'm going to tell you exactly what I suggest that you do as your next step. If I've got an offer that would help you accelerate the process, we can discuss working together as well. So head on over to my website, www.podcastingbusiness.school, and click on the Discovery Call button to schedule your free Podcast Profit Potential Discovery Call.